We've only just released Studio version 1.15, but we have another big addition, a big release to announce today, which is called Workflow Builder. You'll see that on the left-hand side of any live site currently that's on consolidated billing, reseller billing. The reason for that is it's an integration tool, like a bit like Zapier, but it allows you to connect up all sorts of things, all built into Siteglide, working with a partner called Latenode. And as we like to do, we try and make it usage-based and ensure that there's no paywalls that you have to, like a minimum spend or anything like that. So essentially every workflow run is using credits, which is Siteglide units effectively. You'll see that now in the subscription tab on your consolidated bill, and it just means that you can get started straight away. So if you on a live site, if you go to Workflow Builder, you can then see this area here and you can start creating scenarios. So let's try that quickly. So most likely there's essentially triggers and actions. If we type in Siteglide here, you've got actions and you've got triggers, very similar to how Zapier works if you're familiar with it. So let's say list all web app items. So we can then sign into Siteglide, and what you have to do is you just go and get your host, API key, and site ID. So I'll go to site settings, open that up in a new tab, let that load up, get your site ID. Host is literally, if you click view to view the front end, you've just got to grab the bit without HTTPS. So just the actual dev domain here. And then API key, finally, you would have under click to reveal. I'll regenerate this after the video, but wanted to show the process. So you just drop the API key in, give it a name. So SG1, I'll call it. And that's now done the auth, and then we just have to pick a web app ID. I'm going to pick one. As long as you've got one web app, then that's going to work. Obviously, put the right ID in for the web app that you're wanting to run. So in this case, it's saying no web app found, and that's because we don't have a web app. So I haven't prepared this video particularly well, but it's also a good example. So let's go create a new one. What we could also do to speed up time is change that to list out blog items, let's say. So again, this shows you can just delete a node and add a new node. Go to Siteglide, go to list module items, choose your auth. Again, I've already got one, so just use that one. And then module ID, I think blog is 3. When you hover, you can see it down there in the URL. So I'll do 3. So that should output some blog post items. So we've now got those. That's showing that there's total entries of 1. And then you could do something with that. So you could fire that across to, let's say, a Google Sheet. And you could say, add a single row in a Google Sheet. You'd obviously have to connect up with a Google Sheet. Let's do an example of this quickly. You would just do new authorization, and then you click Google Sheets auth. I'll do that and then come back to here afterwards. You'll see it's now connected to Google. I've selected my drive and I've selected a sheet, and then you can go and get that sheet and say whether there's a header row or not. And then you could push data to that sheet. So I'll just get that set up quickly. So here we have the automation 9 file. So let's do column 1. Column 2, not very imaginative. Then we'll come back here and we'll say there is a header row, and we now need to map fields. So let's go save. So you'll see here, we've now got column 1 and column 2. You can then pull data in from Siteglide. So let's say that we want to put the where's the name? So here's the title, put that in column 1. And then we'll put something a little bit different. What can we use? The ID in as column 2, and save and run. There you go. That's dropped it into there. Very simple example. Obviously you can use it for all sorts of things. We haven't really scratched the scratch of what you could do with it. There's all sorts of tools built in here that you can use. There's a helper tool that can help you build them. There's some AI tools as well, and all sorts of nodes. So you can actually do some pretty clever things, including some code, some AI agent work, webhooks, all sorts of things, both as triggers and actions. And Siteglide's fully built into there via our new site API that we put a lot of time into. And this is one of the reasons why we can now hook up with some really cool services and give you more control over what you connect websites to, and cool automations that you can build. This will be available immediately from this release. It would be great to get some feedback on how you're using it. Remember, for the moment, it's only available on live sites on consolidated billing. So if you're not able to see it, have a chat with us. We can, depending on your situation, potentially put you on consolidated billing, which would allow you to use the Siteglide units basis to be able to pay for it. Any questions, do let us know. Thank you very much.